What's up, y'all? Welcome to Himothy Humble Cooking. And as always, I'm not the one that invented or created the food. I'm just a messenger that just cooks it. So, sit down. I'm about to start cooking some free food. But as always, love, thanks, and glory goes to the owner himself, God. He made the food for me to even cook. So, don't thank me. Thank God. So, what are we talking about today? Today, I've been wanting to do this. This is another video that was going to take a little bit of time to get some things together, some verses, and I was going to come up and tell y'all why, or the fact that God never intended for 50-50 relationships, partnerships, or equals, or any of that bullshit that this feminist ran country made up. There is actually one verse that feminists and panderers love to jump to. Because when you show them the many other verses that is the exact opposite of this verse, they want to talk about different stuff. They get it mad and hurt and just can't accept the facts. But they see one verse that goes with what the agenda they want to push. And all of a sudden, God intended for there to be feminism. God predicted feminism. Yeah, he did. As a punishment. Just like he predicted we would be sold off to slavery and shackled in ships too. It doesn't mean he was okay with it. So, before people even come at me with this verse, I'm going to read it myself. Jeremiah 31:22. How long wilt thou go about, O backsliding daughter? For the Lord hath created a new thing in the earth. A woman shall compass a man. He intended that to be a punishment because it's happening now. And look at all the bullshit that's happening because of it. Gang violence, all-time high. Divorce rate, all-time high. Failed relationships, all-time high. Black-on-black violence, all-time high. What else? Single-parent households, all-time high. It's crazy how all this stuff started to go up at the same time as more and more women started to get more and more control. The feminists started wanting more and more. And it's literally a video. I just remember to look. I should have looked this up before making this. Because I seen it a long time ago. Of whoever the leader of feminists is now. Or one of them at least. Like a woman who was there. Literally told people like what she talked about. When she first met this woman. And the woman literally came in and told everyone, like, what is our goal? To separate and destroy families. Do you know how do you do that? You make women think that their value is more than what it really is. And give them the empowerment to think, oh, they can be strong and independent and not need a man. Make them more masculine. So they run off the good man. And the only men that'll deal with them are weak, feminine men. So now the women have control of the households, and the women run those men ragged a lot of times. A lot of people want to attack, deadbeat dads, but nobody ever want to talk about the bitter baby moms who literally don't let their kids see their father and use it as a weapon. That happens way more than deadbeat dads. Because you want to know what often happens with deadbeat dads? A lot of times those dudes tell the women that they don't want children to begin with. But the women are so into that man, she'll have a child by him anyway. And then the man runs away because it's like, well, damn, I told you I don't want a kid. If I tell a woman I don't want a kid, I mean, I'm still dumb for not using protection in that situation. But still, if I tell a woman I don't want a kid, then, you know, and she still goes and gets pregnant and still has, you know, bruh. No. I mean, there are deadbeat dads. Don't get me wrong. There are men that will literally lie and tell women, you know, let's have a kid. I'm going to be there for them just because they wanted to get the box. And then they run. Now, I agree. Those men right there are cowards and weak men. But you want to know what I see way more than that type of man? Bitter baby moms. So, yeah, that's another video for a whole other day. But, yeah, so this verse, though, God was doing this as a punishment. God knew that this was going to happen. And it's happening today again. So many destroyed, so many lost families and stuff. And y'all cannot believe me all you want, but, bro, the proof is in y'all face. Now, let me get into what God intended the woman to be. Because these are the same women, how God intended women to be are the same women that people make fun of today. We finna start at Genesis 2, verse 18. And the Lord God said, it is not good that the man should be alone. I will make him and help me for him. Do I need to repeat that? I will make him and help me. A help meet for him. The woman was made to be a helpmeet for the man. Yep, y'all can go ahead, get pissed off, and never watch my videos again. It doesn't matter to me, bro. It's y'all own lives that get affected by the negative, backwards way that y'all choose to live. It's not gonna hurt me, bro. All I'm just doing is putting the information out here. I'm the messenger. I didn't make this stuff up. It's literally in the Bible. And it's the funny thing, because I used to say this same stuff before I was a true follower of God. When I was just a regular Christian like most people. But I still had like a bit more knowledge when it came to dating and women and stuff in general. And before I was even following God, I was preaching the same stuff. And then I found God about a month and a half ago. Well, you know, I always believed in God. But there's a difference between belief. You know, I used to believe in God. Now I know God. That's the difference. So now that I know God and I start going through the Bible and stuff and doing research, the exact same stuff I've been telling y'all is literally in the Bible. God never intended for there to be 50-50 relationships. He didn't say, let me make the man a equal. He never said, let me make the man a partner. He never said, let me make the man a leader. He never said any of that. He said a helpmeet. So, the type of woman I'm going to settle down with is a woman that's going to do whatever I tell her to do and make my life easier. But at the same time, though, I'm still going to love and take care of her as long as she does what she needs for me. And she's never going to have to worry about a bill again in her life. I shall be her desire, and I'll rule over and love her for the rest of our lives. Now, here's the thing. I actually added something to what I just said. Because in the verse, it doesn't even say love. Now, God says man love their woman in other verses. But this next verse I'm finna say, he didn't say that directly. But yes, man, you still gotta love your woman. And woman, if you're submissive and a help me to the wrong man, he's just gonna abuse and use that. So you gotta really, really make sure you find you a true masculine, God-fearing man. Not just a Christian simp or a Christian beta male or a Pokey or Ray Ray that pray to God once every 2 weeks, but then go right back to the same street life they've been in. My back itches. Hold on, not this one. All right, so now we finna read Genesis 3:16. Literally what God told Eve. Oh, and before we get to that, Adam and Eve is literally a great example of what happens when you listen to your woman over God. God specifically told Adam, do not eat from that fruit. He told it to Adam, not Eve, because the man has the ability to think logically. The woman primarily go off her feelings. Adam was supposed to keep an eye on Eve. Eve shouldn't have even wandered close enough to the tree to begin with. But Adam probably let her roam free and do her own thing like this country do for women here. And then Eve got too close to the tree and she got easily manipulated. Satan intentionally targeted Eve. Why? Because he knew the woman was going to be way easier to manipulate than the man. And what happened? The woman was manipulated. And because Adam wasn't a strong, masculine man, and he listened to his woman over God, what did that do for us? Look at all of us now. We all living in the flesh. I mean, we would have been in flesh anyway. But now we live in pain and sin and all this because Adam couldn't tell his woman, no, get away. Like, bruh, I guarantee you if Adam had just had a backbone and told, look, I don't know 100% sure, but because, I ain't God, but I have a good feeling that if I had to grab my back scratcher, if when Eve came back to Adam with that fruit, and Adam had told Eve, get your wicked, goofy ass away from me because you don't listen. Like, that's what I would have told Eve. If I have the mindset now, and I was back there and then, I would have told Eve, get away from me. For one, I would have kept the eye on her and never let her to the tree to begin with. But I would have never forced Eve not to go near the tree. I would have just told her, like, where are you going? Didn't God tell you not to go near that tree? Bring your ass back over here. Now, if she chose to disobey me at that point, then you can call me a snitch all you want. I'm telling God. I'm like, if she said, you don't tell me what to do. It's my body, my choice, or some stupid shit like that. You know what? I would have let her went. Got manipulated by serpent. And while she was talking to serpent, I would have been talking to God. God, I told the woman, like you said, to stay away from that tree. She didn't listen. I'm letting you know now, I'm not touching that fruit. And when she walks over here with it, I'm not touching her. I'm not going anywhere near her, God. I'm letting her know. I'm letting you know now. I'm not disobeying you, but the woman did, okay? So please don't let me fall for this, God. And, I'm pretty sure God would have just sent the woman out and got Adam a new woman. Now, again, I don't know 100% sure. Maybe we all still would be in this just because one human. So don't fully quote me on that, but I have a great feeling that Adam was the primary F up in that situation because he was supposed to keep an eye on his woman. And then once she disobeyed, he should have went straight to God and told, instead of listening to the woman and biting the fruit that God specifically told him not to bite. But yeah, that's a story. That's a video for another day. Let's read Genesis 3:16. So after God found out what they did, what he probably already knew, everybody wanted to play the blame game. Adam was talking about, oh, it was all the woman's fault, even though his goofy ass ate the fruit too. And the woman, forever always avoiding accountability, the serpent, it tricked me. You know what? She wasn't wrong though, because the serpent knew she would have been easier to manipulate, and he manipulated her. So after that, God, punished the serpent, took away his legs and stuff. And then this is exactly what he said to Eve. Genesis 3, verse 16. Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply their sorrow and thy conception, which I'm pretty sure he meaning you will feel the pain of childbirth. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. Do I gotta say it again? And thou desire shall be thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. Genesis 3, verse 16. King James Version. If you think I'm making this up, go look it up yourself. He literally said it. Now, what's another one? What's another verse? Okay. Here's another verse where God's pretty much says the same thing. The man comes before the woman. 1 Corinthians 11, verse 3. But I will have you know that the head of every man is Christ, and the head of every woman is the man, and the head of Christ is God. Another verse saying the same thing. Hey, hold on. I should have one more. Okay. Which one was this? Give me a second. So there was one more verse on here that 1 Timothy chapter 3. This is a true saying, if a man desire the office of a bishop and desire to work, good work. Now this is more so for, church leaders, but this also still, it's almost like God wants every man to be like this. Not exactly, but it's more saying like the man rules over the woman and the child in this situation. I'm going to read verse 4. One that ruleth well in his own house, having the children in subjective with all gravity. Now that's not directly talking to every man. That's more like, if you want to be a pastor and stuff. But the other two verses were talking to every man, and it still said the same thing. It didn't bring the child in there, but common sense should tell you, bro. Why would God intend for us to put our children? Why would God intend for a man to put the child before him when the man is the main one that has to work and provide? Especially back then. It just doesn't make sense. Bro, yes, my kids are going to have a great life. They're going to be taken care of. They're going to be loved. They're going to be well fed. But guess who going to eat first every day in every meal? Me. And the second my woman ever has an issue with that, she can go. It's that simple, bro. I'm paying all the bills. I'm working hard to protect y'all. When someone break in the house, the kids and the woman, they go hide. I am the one that will protect them. If we go camping and a big ass bear attack us, the woman takes the kids and go get in the damn car and wait like 15, 20 minutes for me. I protect my family. So if I'm putting my life on the line when shit get real and I'm going out to pay to face this world, deal with the stress of whatever I got to deal with at that time, and come back and pay bills, how is it wrong for me to want to be the head of my household, have rules and boundaries, and want to eat first at every meal? Yes, I don't care. I don't care. Now, you go to most other countries, you ain't going to see people crying and bitching about what I just said. Now, in this country, this video is going to piss off a lot of people. And I do not care. Y'all have a blessed day, blessed night, or whatever.